Okay, let me get the camera set up on this side. Hi, everybody. We're about to start our live conversation. Let me get the camera set up for everybody. And let me get to the other side of the table. And let me start recording over here. And I want to make sure that you can be seen there. Okay.
Thank you.
Can you see Julie okay? She's like a little muppet over my shoulder. Okay. So we have a couple people joining us so far. Everybody, welcome to our live stream, and we are going to record this live stream today so that anybody that is missing anything today, looking for information about residency, I'm going to put up a clean, concise version of this video or this live stream on Saturday. So I've got two cameras going at the moment, and I wanted to go ahead and thank you guys for joining right now. I can see 7 of you are live online at the moment. So a little recap. First off, thanks for joining. Of course, you know, Julie and I, traveling the world with our 2 dogs, trying to see what it's like to live in other countries, other places, and trying to share our experiences and our expenses with you. And as we're traveling, we go and we talk to residency experts, we'll go look at real estate, we'll talk to expats, and of course, do our adventures. We did a residency video with Selma about 9-10 months ago. It was the beginning of 2022. And here it is, the latter part of 2023, or I'm sorry, latter part of 2022. There have been a ton of changes. So when we did our residency video in the past, we had no clue that these were coming. It was a total surprise from left field. And actually, it's like the week after Julie and I did our residency, because we did get residency here in Turkey, everything changed. And we had no idea that that was going to happen. So we're doing a revisit today with Selma. And I'm going to ask, for those of you that are watching, I'm going to apologize that we can't see the questions because the screen is way across the room. So unfortunately, I won't be able to address those questions that are popping up or comments. But feel free to email us, and you can also go to our website, warrenjulietravel.com, and there's the contact link in there as well. And you can shoot us an email, and if you want to contact Selma, we'll put you in contact with her as well so that you can work towards your residency with Selma as time goes on. And she'll be able to help you out whether or not you're looking at Antalya, Istanbul, Fethiye, anywhere in Turkey. So she's our expert, and she's going to be explaining to us today what's changed, and there's a lot of changes. Residency is still possible in Turkey. It's not as easy as when Julie and I got our residency. So we were approved. Some of you probably saw the video where we had to leave the country real fast because we had our car, Abby, in the country. We learned a lesson that our car from Bulgaria that is registered under our corporation name does not necessarily get the same status in the country of Turkey as we do by having residency. So first off, I'm going to have Selma explain to you a little bit about who she is and what she does. And then we're going to find out about what kind of things are going on here for residency. What are the possibilities for residency here in Turkey currently? There's a lot of immigration that's come from Ukraine and Russia that she's going to speak to as well, because that's changed a lot of the dynamics here, and who's having trouble coming in and who can get in still fairly easily, and what these requirements are. As well as, if you're coming here, do you have tax implications, and are there medical needs, etc. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do now is let's see, it looks like we've got 10 people here live. I'm going to go ahead and let Selma introduce herself. And again, for those of you joining late, I will do a clean, concise version of this video and do a regular edited version and release that on Saturday. So, okay, Selma, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello again. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Varun. After 10 months, we are together again. Thanks to you to joining us, to listening to us.
And I'm going to ask that you speak loud because I'm not sure if
Oh,
everybody
sorry.
can hear.
Okay.
I do have the microphone for the video for tomorrow, but we don't have we have the regular
Thank you.
microphone on the
Okay,
phone
okay.
for now.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for listening to us. After 10 months later, we are together again. My name is Selma. I am Turkish. I have been doing this insurance job almost more than 20 years, 21 years. About residency, for many years I have experience. So the rules are in 10 months changed a lot in Turkey. Actually, it was easier before. Now the conditions are, because of the world conditions, it's more and more difficult. So,
Okay, so let's talk about what types of residency are currently available to people that would like to come here, and what do they need to qualify for residency here in Turkey?
actually, all kinds of the residencies are possible, but depends on the conditions. If you came to Turkey as a tourist, you can get tourist visa. If you came for business, you can get business visa. But the conditions are so much different. Before it was easy to get as a tourist to get visa for 2 years. Now at the beginning you can get visa 6 months or 1 year, no more.
Yeah, so when Julie and I did our residency, we got 1 year residency. We could have done a 2 year, which we probably should have. And if we reapply, we can still get another 1 year. But now a lot of the residencies that are being given out are for 6 months. And so there's a 6-month renewal process, which is a little bit more labor intensive, I guess, to continue on the residency. Are they still doing any 1 or 2 year residencies, or is it all 6 months?
No, 1 year is possible. Depends on the condition, depends on your situation, depends on the age actually. For adults it's easier, for young people it's not easy actually. But after 6 months they will see in Turkey what are you doing, how much you are spending, how you spend your time here. So they will see that. After that it's possible to get 1 year.
Okay. For residency, if somebody is coming here and they just would like to live here, maybe they want to come here and retire, what are the requirements to come and live here, say for an American or British or somebody from the EU? And then we'll talk about Russia, Ukrainians, and the Arab countries like Syria or Egypt, or even talk about countries like India.
Actually, sorry, can I get the question again?
For somebody coming from America, Canada, the UK, or the EU, what are the requirements to come here to live?
They can come here to live. Actually, it's a little bit political. For Syrian, no, for Russians and Ukrainians, it's very easy. They can get 1 year visa easily and faster than the other people. But for the other countries, from UK, from USA or UA citizens, it's not so easy. But at the beginning, they can get 3 or 6 months easily. After 6 months, they will see what they are doing here. Then they will apply for the renewal. Probably they will get 1 year residency.
So the Russians and Ukrainians have an easy time to get
Yes, very easy. Yes.
Residency for a year at the
Yes,
moment.
Yes.
And there's a lot of Russians and Ukrainians currently in Turkey.
Yes.
We noticed this when we were in Fethiye, which was a normal hotspot for British, and the British were probably outnumbered 2-1 in Fethiye right now by Russians when we were there. So if you're Russian or Ukrainian, you're trying to avoid the war and you're here from Russia, or Ukrainian, you're trying to stay safe from the war, then you have a place that you can come and hang out for a period of time and not be pushed out. far as if you're an American or if you're British or EU, typically you can come here for 90 days without any special paperwork. You just do the visa. You just have to apply online, do the e-visa, and you can come for 90 days without a problem. If you're looking for residency, as Selma explained, it's now going to be a 6-month process that will have to be renewed every 6 months going forward. For most of you coming from the EU, from Canada, from Australia, from the United States, that's going to be the process. And I'll just go ahead and come into, if you're from Syria, Egypt, Iraq, you're more than likely going to get denied at this particular moment. But still, you can reach out to Selma for any potential help on these concerns or issues and see if there is an opportunity. If you're from India or
Middle East.
So the Middle East, what about if people from India, if they would like to come here right now, are they able to apply?
Yes, they can apply, but just maximum 3 months.
Just for 3 months?
Yes, not more, not more.
Okay, so right now, unless you're from Ukraine, the United States, or the Western countries, or Russia or Ukraine, you'll have a hard time getting residency at this moment in Turkey.
Turkey, yes, possible.
Okay, so because there have been so many folks that have come into Turkey recently, there are a lot of areas now that are off limits for foreigners because there's too much of a concentration of foreigners. So they're
20% of the population of this area, they close the area. So even if you have a property in this area, you cannot get residency.
okay. So I think it's like 20 or 25% of an area.
Yes.
25%. So once an area becomes more than 25% foreigners, they cut that area off for new residency for that section. So when we're in Antalya, for example, beautiful place, we love Antalya. There's a wonderful area called Kanialte, nice beach area. There's the old town area that we're staying in right now. Those areas are currently off limits for new residents, for new residency. If you're already there as a resident, you're good. But Laura Beach, which is a very beautiful area here in the Antalya area, is still accepting new residents. So you would be able to look at going to the Laura Beach location. But this is also a similar situation in parts of Istanbul, around basically all over Turkey. If it's too concentrated with foreigners, they're putting up the roadblock that they're not taking in new foreigners until there's new equilibrium with keeping Turkish people in that community as well. Is that fair to say? Anything incorrect there?
Nothing to do. Yes, that's true. In some areas, especially in Konyaaltı, close to seaside, the area is closed, full of people, full of foreigners, so they cannot get residency anymore. Even if they live there for 3-4 years, they cannot renew their residency there.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So that.
So even if you own a property,
Yes.
you are completely incapable of getting residency
yes.
at this point in
Yes,
those areas.
they cannot get. Yes.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
Yes. There are, of course, in these areas, there are some exceptions. For example, if you are married a Turkish citizen, you can get residence in that area. If you work in that area, you can get residency there. Depends on.
Okay. So if you're working,
If
or
you are
if you're-
working in this area, yes, you
Okay.
can get residency
so
there.
you can get residency here still if you're an employee of a Turkish company or of a company
Yes,
here.
yes.
What about starting the company?
It's a little bit harder than before.
Okay, so it's harder to start a company than before.
Yes.
What are the requirements to show to come into Turkey right now if you're coming from the Western countries as far as economics? Do you have to show money?
Yes, you have to show your budget. Yes, they will see. This company, how much is the budget? So
And what is that amount?
minimum budget is 200,000.
200,000 Turkish lira.
No, US dollars.
200,000 US dollars.
Yes.
For company formation.
Oh, for information. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. And what about to come here to retire?
To retire means retire?
Yeah, to come in and say, I'm here,
Pension.
I have
Pension.
pension
From your country.
from our country, from the
Yes,
UK,
you will.
from,
Yes, you will prove your pension. If it's enough to live here, they will decide.
And how much is enough?
At least 1,000 US dollars
1,000 US dollars is the minimum.
Per person?
per person. Yes,
So if you have a spouse, it would be 2,000,
it's better.
and if you have children,
If you have children, 1,000 US dollars is not enough for 4 people.
no, but 1,000 per, so Julie was asking 1,000 per person, so if it's a husband and wife, how much would it be? 2,000.
2,000.
So what if it's a husband, wife, and a child?
More than 2,000 US dollars.
More-
3,000, yes.
Okay, so 2,000 to 3,000 if there's 3 of you. So it sounds like about $1,000 a person is what is going to be required economically to qualify for residency at this moment here. So 2,000 for a couple. Okay,
At least.
okay. And then what if somebody is coming here for education or what are the other types of purposes somebody can come here besides retirement, or is
Retirement, okay, another, yes, to study, to education they can come, or to learn language they can also
To learn
come.
language?
Yes, depends on their visa. If they get visa to learn the language as a student visa, they can also, their residency is easier.
okay? So if somebody was an Indian, they wanted to come learn the language, would they qualify under
Yes.
that?
If their visa from their country to come here, at least 2 weeks visa, to come here to language, so they can extend and they can apply residency visa as a tourist, as a student.
Okay, so they can apply for student.
Yes,
And
yes.
how long is a student visa normally?
Maximum 3 months.
3 months, okay.
And let me have you just talk towards the camera a little bit, just to make sure your
Sorry.
voice is hitting the camera, because
Sorry, I'm sorry.
if I don't know if you guys can hear her very well or not. I know some of you guys are typing comments, and I have to apologize, we can't really read them. But if you can hear Selma okay, can you just make a quick comment, say, yes, we can hear her, and if it's too quiet, please say that. I'm going to try to squint and see what you're saying. Okay. Okay, hopefully everybody's listening or hearing you okay then.
I hope.
Okay, so let's talk about, if somebody's a resident here in Turkey, what, if they have income from outside of Turkey and they're living here year round, do they have a tax obligation to the Turkish government
What kind of tax?
on their income?
No.
Okay, so there's no
If it's
worldwide
from your
income.
country, no, you don't have to pay tax here in Turkey. This is the most question people are asking to me. Yes, no tax for that.
Okay, so if you're coming here on retirement, your retirement does not get taxed. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and right now Turkey is affordable, very affordable compared to
Other countries.
other countries.
Yes.
The prices have gone up quite a bit. So we've seen a lot of inflation in the last 10, 11 months since we were here before. And even though we're getting 18.5 Turkish Lira to the dollar currently, it used to be around 13.5 when we left. That increase has not kept up with the amount that the prices have risen. So I think Julie and I are guesstimating we've got about a 30% increase in the cost of living since the last time we were here, if you're under the US dollar. Maybe even more in the euro, because we had have a better exchange rate now against the euro than we did then as well. So maybe you're seeing a 40+% if you're under the euro.
Yes.
But still very affordable. Maybe Serbia might be a little bit less expensive, but outside of that, you're looking at pretty much the cheapest area up against Europe. And even though this is Asia in this section, you can drive here from Europe, and it's not Schengen, which makes it a great place to come and spend some time, especially if you need to reset your Schengen clock if you're traveling through Europe. So as far as the residents here, we've discussed that a student visa is still a possibility.
Possible, yes.
You can open a business, but you're going to need about
Possible.
$200,000 to
At
open a
least,
business.
Yes.
If you're coming here as a pensioner, or if you're coming here and you're showing income so you can live
Yes.
here, because like Julie and I, we are here to live, we have our residency approved. We're not technically retired, we're retired in our own minds because we stopped working, but we are able to show that we have income or that we have money. So if you're coming here to live, you have to be able to show $1,000 per person currently.
Yes,
Monthly. So not much for one person to be able to show. Two people, if you're under Social Security. I think the average Social Security in 2023 is going to be somewhere around $2,700 for a couple. So, more than likely, if you're on Social Security, you would be able to afford to live in Turkey.
Right. So my understanding, last time, we only had to spend 2 months in 2 years and retain our residency.
yes.
What is the new requirement, if there is one? Is there a mandatory time that you have to stay in Turkey to keep your residency?
Yes, 6 months.
You need to
So
be
you have to stay here the whole
6
six.
months.
So if the residency
year.
is
Yes,
okay, so the residency that's given out now is for 6-month periods of time.
yes.
Do you have to stay here the whole 6 months, or can you?
You can go and come back.
But how long can you stay out during that 6 months?
Sorry?
If at the new residency program, you're only allowed to get 6 months of residency. That's what they're giving out now. If you're coming from Great Britain, or if you're coming from the U.S., you can apply for residency, and you have to renew it every 6 months. Correct?
Yes, you have to come back every 6 months, yes.
You have to come back to renew it every 6 months. But if you're here and you get your residency,
You are here and you have residency for 1 year, right?
mhm,
But at least 6 months you have to be in the country in this 1 year.
so you have to be in the country 6 months out of the
Yes.
year.
Yes.
So if you're doing a 6-month residency and then doing another 6-month residency, if you were only here for a month and then you apply for your residency to be renewed,
Mhm.
no problem. You just
No,
have to
no,
spend
it
the
will
next
not-
5
yes,
months.
Yes,
Okay.
it will not be a problem.
Oh,
Oh dear. Technical error.
okay. Hold on, everybody. We are going offline. Let me get this back up, everybody. This is what happens when you go live. Okay, I'm going to try to set this differently because my gimbal just died on us, and I was holding up the phone. So let's see if we
You
can.
want him to hold it?
No. Okay, everybody, this is when you're dealing with professionals like us here. Let's see, I think we can do it like this. Okay. Okay, that's,
Well, it works.
okay. So I have a gimbal, and I'm using it as a tripod. I got the other camera on my stationary tripod. So apparently the battery just died, and so it flipped over to the side like that.
So I want to clarify that, then clear that. So we have a 1-year residency with
Yes.
someone. They have to be here 6 months out of that year in
Yes.
order to get another residency
Yes.
the next year.
Yes.
Okay, so that's very clear now.
Mm-hmm.
If they were only issued 6 months,
Mhm.
they would need to be here after the 6-month period
Yes.
to apply
To
get-
renew it, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's,
So medical, you need to have medical if you become a resident here in Turkey. So the medical insurance that we have as we travel through Europe is different than what we have here in Turkey. So we have our traveling insurance. So if you're coming here for 90 days, you can still go to warrenjulietravel.com, go to the link for medical insurance, and apply for medical insurance through our link there. And I'm an agent, so that would be fantastic if you went through my link. But if you're coming here and you're going to get residency, Selma will fix the paperwork and set you up with the insurance for residency here. And that gives you the use of the private hospitals, not the public, right? Just the private.
private office.
So you'll be able to use the private facilities and the private hospitals. And, quick disclosure, when I was here last time in Turkey, I did go to a hospital because I did end up getting sick, got pneumonia, went into the emergency room and had x-rays, got different tests done, and in and out the door was under $750 out of pocket. We didn't have our medical insurance kicking in at that time for the residency. So our cost for for my medical visit was very, very low, and good hospital, and in and out in about 45 minutes. Yes.
On a Sunday emergency, yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so the medical insurance that we have for Julie and I, what is the typical cost for somebody for residency to get medical insurance here in Turkey right now?
The cost.
The cost.
The cost is the same almost. It's around for one person $100 US.
About $100 US?
Yes.
And that's for a month or for a year?
For one year.
1 year is $100 for medical insurance for a person.
For the residency program.
For residents.
For the
yes.
residency.
It's a simple, small insurance.
Yes. So it's, you know, if you're doing like Julie and I with the traveling insurance, we spend $205 a month. And we have a $2,500 deductible, $1 million of coverage, and that's what we use as we travel through Europe and the rest of the world. But here in Turkey, $100 will get you 1 year's worth of coverage to be able to use the private hospitals, and that's $100 a year. So you're looking at less than $10 a month per person, is what Selma is saying the current rate is. Okay. So we talked about the tax implications of residency. We spoke about the Russians, Ukrainians being easy to come in, Western Europeans and Americans can still apply, but 6-month periods for the residency.
For the beginning, yes.
There are areas of the country that are off limits because there's too many foreigners there now, so your residency has to be based in an area accepting foreigners.
Yes.
Your income requirement for residency is approximately $1,000 per person.
Yes.
If you're from India, coming here for language may be a potential, but most people are being rejected currently for other purposes. If you're from an Arab country, you're probably not going to be coming in. You can still keep in contact with Selma for potential time in the future where maybe they'll open the doors, but for right now, it looks like there's you know, some countries can come, some countries are on the list of not right now.
Yes.
Now I have one question, because I think we had it a little misunderstood. If you apply for residency now as an American citizen, you get 6 months.
Yes.
When you apply again, however, you could get a year, is that correct?
1 year, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Renewal, we say that, renewal, 1 year you can apply. Yes.
1 year.
So 6 months for the first, then a
First
year
beginning,
renewal
yes.
for the next, okay.
And during that 1 year, you need to be here 6 months out of the
Yes.
12.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the old requirement was 2 months every 2 years, so now it's 6 months every year that you would need to stay in Turkey to maintain your residency.
And you could still go out for 3, come back for 3
Yes.
if you wanted to, but then why would you have the residency? Because you could do that as a tourist.
Yes, you can do that.
Okay. Okay, Selma, is there something we haven't said? Is there anything you wanted to share?
No, I think we talked about that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so everybody, just as a reminder, I'm going to clean this up and do a video release on residency for Saturday. So I'll work on this tomorrow. It's currently Thursday evening here in Turkey. So look for the Saturday cleanup. If you got some questions, maybe they weren't answered here, I'll try to make sure that I put into text everything that was left outstanding. And if you haven't checked it out yet, Julie put up a brand new website, warrenjulietravel.com, so WARRENJULIE travel.com, and you'll see our latest videos there. Julie's got a blog going. You'll see our store if you want to see some of the stuff we buy and use online at our Amazon store. And you know, it would be nice if you validate Julie's efforts because she's worked so hard.
Okay.
And you know,
And
as
if anybody has any questions, and I see that if you have come through, please feel free to just email us.
yeah,
directly.
you can contact us through there as well. And we do have our Facebook group and our Instagram as well. So I thank you guys for coming and joining us. And there were some problems along the way, so we apologize. That's what happens when we're doing things live. And I think the internet cut out a couple times as well. I hope that the sound quality was okay. And so until next time. Oh, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. I'm assuming you've subscribed if you're here during the live feed, but I hope that you're going to subscribe and follow Julie and I. And until next time, have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Bye bye. Thank you. Bye bye.
And